Hi, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Life with London. Today is a really exciting episode. I have an amazing guest with me today, and I can't wait to introduce you all to Jules. Julie is a two-time Emmy Award-winning makeup artist for the syndicated daytime television show The Real. Julie's talents can be seen regularly on national television and print media. She is also respected as a celebrity makeup artist with a range of clients within the industry. Julie learned early on from her Haitian mother the importance of beauty and resilience, and her passion for beauty originates from the vivid stories her mother told about growing up in Haiti. She made her own makeup out of roses, coal, and so many other elements. After working in the healthcare industry, Julie was introduced to the wonderful world of makeup and recognized her true calling and worked her way into the entertainment industry. Julie's determination and amazing talent transformed her into a professional Hollywood makeup artist for print, film, video, and television. Julie's worked on television shows such as The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and works with celebrities like Garcelle Beauvais, Vivica A. Fox, and so many more. Her artistry has made it possible for her to showcase her makeup transformations for shows like the Emmy Awards, the Billboard Awards, the BET, and MTV Music Awards, and more. Julie currently serves as the makeup department head for the streaming series Send Help from the writers of HBO's Insecure. Julie is an advocate for finding your true passion. She recognizes that none of her success would be possible without the support of her family, friends, clients, and colleagues, and I am so excited to welcome Julie to the show. Yay! Hi, Julie.
So glad to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. You look beautiful. I love this pink sparkly situation.
I'm always like, give me a feather, give me a sparkle, give me a
Yes.
ruffle, like give me something.
Yes, give me something to work with.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to have you. I am so glad our paths crossed, and I feel like it was like meant to be. Um,
definitely.
and when I first met you and you shared just a little bit about your story, it wasn't much, but you shared a little bit about your beginnings, and I was really inspired, and I wanted to know more, and I wanted to hear more, and I thought that, with your story being so inspirational to me, I couldn't wait to share it with my audience and other people, and hopefully, your audience that may not know, how you started your career and what you're doing now to maintain your career. I just
Yeah.
thought it was a perfect time to have this conversation with you.
Thank you. I think it was truly a blessing as well. I met you on like the most nerve-wracking day, exciting day, frustrating day of my life.
Oh,
And I don't get to often share my story. So I was like, girl, if you're gonna say anything, today is the day to say it. Like
yes,
on the
yes.
stage. So
I'm so glad you did. So you started from humble beginnings, but you also are an advocate for your Haitian roots. Talk to me about what that background means to you and how it inspired what you're currently doing.
definitely, I think like 50% of me is like knowing where I come from gives me a lot of strength in times
Hmm.
when I don't have it myself. Knowing that the people before me went through trials and tribulations and exceeded expectations and made a beautiful life for themselves. Like I call upon that strength often. So knowing where I come from, knowing my story, it gives me a sense of who I am. Sometimes when I feel like I don't know who I am,
Mm,
which can happen a lot being an artist. And on top of that, my mother, just growing up, I've never actually been to Haiti, but just growing up, she would make her stories so vivid and so like, I feel like I've been there because of the way that she would talk to us about her upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a resilience, even in our culture and our history. We were the first free Black republic in the world in 1804, hundreds of years before any other Black nation was free. So it's like literally embedded in me, in my history, to go against the grain, stand up for what's right, go with your heart. Like all of that is my history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that there's some days where you don't, even know how to show up as your authentic self. Can you talk to me about what you tell yourself to kind of shake those moments for you?
um, they're not easy to shake,
Mhm.
especially because coming out to California at such a young age, I don't have family here. I've definitely tried to create a really great community for myself here, but
Mhm.
there's not a lot of reassurance for me. I have to be my
Mhm.
own cheerleader. I have to be my own, everything. And while that is very empowering at sometimes it's very, very draining.
Mhm.
And I just have to know that those are moments. I don't have to stay in that place. I don't have to stay feeling that way. That's like when I said, when I can look back and be like, my mother, I know she's been through tough moments and found her way out. My grandmother, my great grandmother. So it's moments like that where I need to like center and just, take it easy on myself and not be too
Mhm.
hard on myself, because it's usually coming from like a place of what if or what's to come,
Mhm.
trying to be more present and not thinking into the future too much and relax. Maybe I'll put on a song. Like
Mhm.
sometimes it can be as simple as that.
Mhm.
And not trying to do too much. Yeah.
Right. Right. And I think whenever I'm feeling like that too, I always think about, having people, having support feels nice and can be nice, but you don't get to control when people come in and out of your life.
Yeah.
So being able to maintain how you feel and who you are, regardless of who's around, I think is a superpower because there's like I said, there's not going to always be times where people are there, and when they are, they get to kind of choose what when they want to stay, or if they want to stay, or if they want to go. And people are dealing with their own life as well, and they don't always know how to show up and support us and you know empower us. So I think those moments where I'm feeling like, oh, I wish I had, more people to talk to or more people that could understand me. It's like it's strengthening me. And it
Yeah.
sounds like that's where you're pulling from too.
That's all we got sometimes.
Yep. Yep. So you talk about how you originally started off in the healthcare industry. What inspired your career pivot?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was already going to college. I was going to Cal State Long Beach for healthcare administration. And I moved out of Long Beach like my final semester. So I had one more semester left, but I moved in with a friend in LA. Um, and I was literally like on her blow up mattress in her living room. And I had just graduated, so I'm still like looking for a job, trying to figure out like, I don't know if everyone in our audience has went to college and knows that experience, but it feels like when you're going to college, like, okay, I go in for 4 years, I go in for a specific thing, and then I should apply for a job in my field. Like it seems like that. And
Mhm.
then once you graduate, it's this weird, awkward space of like,
Mhm.
you're supposed to be an adult and have a full blown career and all of that and be happy in your field. Like, but then everybody, they want you to have experience. It's like,
Mhm.
it was the
Mhm.
wildest time of my life. So I was looking for a job in healthcare because I got my degree in healthcare administration, but was still staying with a friend at the time. And she asked me, um, one of her friends was coming over that day, and she was like, "Oh, can you open the door for her? She's getting her makeup done and she just needs a place to get her makeup done." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So the friend came, the makeup artist came, and I had never seen anything like that. Like, he came with his light, his chair, every matte
Yes.
shade you could think of, eyeshadows, and they were just like chatting and talking. And he was doing her makeup, and they were having a good time. And I was like, and then he paid her, and then she paid him, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
I want to do that. Like, I was like, I want to do that. I always loved makeup. I hadn't really, I had did makeup on myself because that was the time of like YouTube was really getting popular at that time. So I had thought about doing stuff like that, but I never thought about doing makeup on other people. Just the interaction really that they had was really like alluring to me. Like, he was having a good time. They were having conversation. I was like, oh, I could get into that. So I tried my best to break in at that time. But it's I didn't know anybody. I was just posting on Instagram, so I had to go and pursue my career that I got a degree for. So that's when I went into healthcare like full time. And while I was there, I kind of put makeup on hold for a second because I thought, okay, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I'm supposed to go work at the hospital. And that's what I got my degree in. And I had just got a new car. And then I finally got a place of my own. So it was looking like the 9 to 5 was the way to go because other things were getting better in my life. But me personally, I didn't feel fulfilled, and I didn't feel good. I would leave work early. I would like take 30-minute bathroom breaks. And it sounds like childish now, but I really was like running away from that kind of life and
Yeah.
was childish in the way that I did it. I don't recommend doing it like that. But so when they let me go, obviously because I wasn't showing up, I decided, I really want to give a shot at makeup and I really want to give a go at it. And I realized that I hadn't done all the work at that time. I didn't have any clients. I didn't have anyone talking about me or putting my name out there. So I realized like you really have to put in the work, Julie, if you say that this is something that you want to do. So I went back and got another 9 to 5. But that time I got a job in the entertainment industry. So I used my administrative skills and I got an office manager position at a music company. That way my paths could kind of align a little bit more and I could, I could at least talk about what I'm trying to do on the side instead of trying to like hide it. So, but in that between time is actually when I was in between working in the hospital and getting that entertainment job, I was looking for work. I didn't want to go back to healthcare, but I was trying to find something that matched. And so that's actually when I was doing sitting in the audience at the reel. So that's why I say you just have to like be present in the moment because you don't even know what that moment could mean later. So once I was at the music company, I would just, I would tell people like, hey, I'm a makeup artist as well. Like if you have any artists that have music videos coming up or anything like that. And, I would, on my lunch breaks, I would literally take clients. So instead of having lunch, I'd be like, if you're in Hollywood, I could take you at 12. So, just realizing that people don't like to hear no in Hollywood or in the entertainment industry at all. Like they like yeses, especially if they're asking something of you, they want a yes. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I got to take people on my lunch break because if I keep telling people no, they're going to be like, oh, she's not available during the week. She's only a weekend makeup artist. Like I really had to kind of get uncomfortable at that time and do things that were, out of the norm for me to break into this industry in itself.
Right.
Like it was crazy.
Right. That is an incredible start. And I think it's so courageous of you to say, you know what, I'm going to take this leap of faith and leave the 9 to 5, but also recognize that if I have to go back to the 9 to 5, I am going to at least position myself to work my way up. And I think it's so special when you can say, okay, I have the ultimate goal in mind. My ultimate goal is to be XYZ, but here are the steps. And it may not look like everyone else's journey. It may not look like everyone else's steps, but I know that there is something that's going to get me to the other thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to get really scrappy with what those, you know, stepping stones are,
Yeah.
and recognize that, you know, those stepping stones are just temporary, but there might be somebody that you cross paths with. There might be a day that, you know, just because you're in position and you're, you know, there and present, they might need you for, you know, a shoot that day. You just never
Yes.
know. So I think it took so much faith and courage within you to just step out and believe in yourself like that. And maybe at the time you weren't even recognizing what you were doing in believing in yourself. I think believing in yourself is such a umbrella
Yes.
term, but you just putting yourself in a position to uh, get your name out there and get your work seen is believing in yourself.
Thank you. I know so many times we hear like Beyonce just said, I just quit my job. Like sounds good. It sounds great. Like quit your job, become a beautiful makeup artist. Yeah, it sounds great. But in reality, when you can't buy food,
Mm-hmm.
when you can't put gas in your car, I had to get real with myself and understand that it may not be as cute. The journey may not be as cute as everyone's. And, especially living in LA when, you're on Instagram and you see people at shoots, you see people at the
Mm-hmm.
beach, you see people, and you're like, I'm going back to 9 to 5. Like I felt like it was over again. And I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't let it be over. I'm like, this
Right.
can't be like, so thank you for saying that because it doesn't always, I don't think people highlight enough the many different ways things can happen.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like, okay, quit my job and become an artist. Okay, well, you
Mm-hmm.
might have to go back to work. Like,
Yeah.
and that was the most scariest thing for me because it felt like I'm going back to mundane. I'm going back to, I'm never going to get out. Like I'm going back to, I'm going to be there 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I just realized that like I need to also provide for myself. So
Right.
I never knock down the 9 to 5ers. I never say like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that life is not like when it was time to go back, I was happily in line, like I need a job, you
Right.
know?
Right. Right.
So just don't believe that, just every step doesn't always mean a step up. It could be a step to the side. It could be a step to that side. I
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in taking steps back. So if like some people might say, well, like, oh, well, it was a step back to go back to work. But like I said, I changed career paths. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
healthcare now, I did entertainment. So,
Right.
you just have to look at everything, like you said, like take it one day at a time, have a bigger goal in mind, understand that this won't be the forever moment.
Right.
It could be 2, 3 years. That was about a 2 to 3 year span of all of that
Mm-hmm.
happening. So I know it
Mm-hmm.
feels like for a lot of people, like it happened overnight for me, but it was a long time in the works.
Yeah. Yeah. And usually by the time everyone sees the, you know, the beauty part of it, it's like, you know, I listened to this clip a few months ago, and it resonated with me so heavy. I think it was 50 Cent on TikTok. I don't really remember what interview it was from, but he was like, you want to get to a place where by the time it's like cool to jump on your bandwagon, or by the time it's cool to support you, you're not even going to care. You're not even going to, you know, not that you're not going to want the support from people,
Yeah,
but you're not going to be as phased by it as you
yeah,
thought you would be when you were first like, why isn't anyone supporting me? Why isn't anyone believing in me? You know, why isn't anybody, you know, booking me or whatever? I think it's so important to think about the bigger picture. And sometimes it takes those pauses in what we view as momentum, but
mhm,
sometimes the breaks are momentum because you're building character, you're building stamina, you're building connections and relationships, you're finding out who you really are, what you really love. I think it's so authentic of you that you were like, you know what? I don't, this isn't for me when you were, you know, at your at your healthcare job, I think a lot of people aren't real enough with themselves, or, they might.
Well, society doesn't really let us be. I
Mm,
would tell people like, I don't like my job, and they'd be like, oh, well, nobody likes their job.
mm,
Like, okay, well, okay, well then, like, so what do I do then? And they're like, well,
what
you
do I
just
do?
you just stay there. So it's
Yeah.
like it's not easy. Everybody is telling you. My mother was scared to death for me.
Mm-hmm.
She's a nurse, so when I finally got a job in healthcare, she was just happy. Like, you're gonna have a stable job.
Yeah.
It's not easy for people. So
Mm-hmm.
I totally I get it. I get it,
Mm-hmm.
and you just, like I said, you have to be your biggest cheerleader, unfortunately. And that's going to continue. It's not going to, even when
Mm-hmm.
things do come, even when the people do want to book you, you're going to need another level of, I'm my own cheerleader still.
Wow. Yeah. Who or what do you credit for what you know about makeup?
Ooh, the internet. No,
Me too.
definitely like the internet, but also when I was coming up, my mother got me a book from Kevin Aquan that I read, and I realized how much he immersified himself into makeup before he even became who we now know him to be.
Mm,
So I decided, if you really want to do makeup, Julie, you really got to be good. Like, you really got to know what you're talking about as well. And
mm-hmm.
I'm out of college. I'm in between jobs. I don't have money to go take a master class from anybody. I don't have any of those kind of outlets. So there's the Mud School in Burbank, which is a makeup school, and they had free classes on Saturdays. I would religiously be on YouTube watching any like celebrity makeup artists or artists that I really liked. And Instagram and YouTube and the internet were, like, again, at that time where everybody was putting their work out there and what they were doing and what they were using. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was just soaking all of that up and
Mm-hmm.
trying to get as much of it as I could. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want to say any one person, because I don't want people to focus on like, okay, well, I got to follow one person to make it. Like, use all avenues, exhaust all options. If there's a
Mm.
school by you that has a free class every Saturday but you got to wake up at 8 a.m. to go to, then wake up at 8 a.m. If there
Absolutely.
Yeah, if there's like a course that you can take, or if you can go on YouTube and learn something, like, I don't think it's no longer that you need like super formal training. I will
Mm-hmm.
say that I took Priscilla Ono's masterclass, which is Rihanna's makeup artist, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was gonna go in and come out this like amazing makeup artist skill wise, but
Yeah.
honestly, from that class, my confidence just grew. Like, me as an
Okay.
artist, I felt more confident to walk into the room and be like, I'm a makeup artist,
Mm.
or walk to a client and be like, okay, that's the look you're looking for. That's what I'm going to give you.
Mm.
So
What
it
about
boosted.
that class did that for you?
It was the way she spoke to us. I think, she spoke to us as if like we were the next great makeup artists that were going to come out into the world. Like, she spoke to us like the next generation of great artists, and she gave
Mm.
us tools to be the next great artist. And knowing where she came from and her talking about her background, and which is very similar as just far as being humble and just loving makeup. I think I believe she started out in like the mall, at the kiosk mall,
Mm-hmm.
like those little stands doing makeup. And
That's
now
incredible.
she's world renowned. So she was somebody I could relate to. It
Yeah.
was something I could understand. I could see myself like, okay, so it takes time. It takes
Mm-hmm.
doing what you love, not looking for the moment, not looking for the applause or the accolades. Like, if you love doing makeup, then just do it.
Right.
Um, and I think that is a big takeaway that I took from that class. So yeah, just like, let the world be your inspiration. Let life be your inspiration. Don't feel like you have to be up under somebody or in a certain program or anything. Like, if you love makeup and you love hair or whatever you love to do, just go into it wholeheartedly. Yeah.
That's incredible advice too, just with anything, anything that you desire or put your mind to do, because at the end of the day, what's going to sustain you and sustain that drive even on your worst days is you're like, at the end of the day, I love what I'm doing and it doesn't feel like work, even if it's a heavy day, a long day, I'm tired, exhausted. That's so important, and I think that needs to be the why at the end of the tunnel all the time. Like, I actually enjoy what I'm doing, because then that energy around you is going to come back. When you're enjoying what you're doing, you're gonna put out joy and happiness, and people around you will feel that.
I always tell people, remember why you started.
Yes.
And I say that like in moments like when you're feeling down, if you're feeling not good enough, like remember why you started. I started because I loved doing makeup and I wanted to interact with people and I wanted to play in makeup and have a
Mm-hmm.
great time. So if I remember that, then most of the things I'm worried about or complaining about at the time really don't measure up to that. So
Mm-hmm. And I think even before remembering why you started, it's really discovering why you're starting. Like knowing why you're doing what you're doing. Like you were saying earlier, it's, do you love doing makeup or do you love doing hair? Then that's your why. Remember that you love it. And if that ever changes, we don't have to stay stuck, and we can reinvent ourselves no matter where we are in our careers. And I think that's what resilience is all about.
def- definitely well said.
You work on some incredible sets. For those that may not know what set life is like, can you share some details about what it's like from your experience? And that can be pros, cons, tips, tricks, anything.
Definitely set life is being prepared for the moment that you can't prepare for.
Wow.
um, so like I know me thinking before I was a makeup artist, I thought, they just touch up, they probably have some powder on them and stuff like that. But I literally come into work when I know I'm gonna be on set all day with like a set bag, which has like toothpaste, straws, mouthwash, dental floss,
Mm-hmm.
deodorant, hairspray, double-sided tape. What else is in there? A Tide pen. I have baby oil in there, powder, like safety
Love it.
pins.
I need
So
that kit.
it's literally like a blotting paper. It has everything in there for the moment something goes awry and we don't have time to run back to the trailer or maybe the seamstress is not here and we need it. Like it's being prepared for the unknown. That is what
Mm-hmm.
set life is like.
Mm-hmm.
We always get there early. There's never a set that I've been on and they're like, come in at like 2.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, you're always getting up at the crack of dawn. And if you're there early, just know that the crew was there at least 2 hours before you. So
Mm.
I never try to complain because I know that the rig people and the lighting people, they've been there 2 hours before I even got there. So I'm always like,
Yeah.
all right, chill out.
Right.
Some pros, I would definitely say it's a lot of fun. You're working with other people who really love what they do,
Mhm.
like the lighting people or the camera guy or the director, depending on what kind of set it is. I always really enjoy set days because I'm just working around a whole bunch of other creatives and they have their stories of how they got started. If I ever have time, I like to be, chit chat with the crew and be like, well, who are you? How'd you get started? You know,
Mhm.
I want to know how the grip people got to grips. Like, how did you hear
Mhm.
about that? um,
Right.
yeah. So set days are always really great. I would say some cons, it's always a 12-hour day or more. Um,
Mhm.
Another pro is that there's great snacks.
Love
Too
that.
many, too many great snacks. Um, yeah, and you're just surrounded by people who are loving what they're doing and we're all having a good time. So yeah.
And did you learn what you like, even just being prepared for all these things that, may happen? Is that something that someone told you to do, or did you learn from observation?
No, definitely. When I started working with Garcelle by far was my first celebrity client.
Okay. How did that
And
happen?
her makeup artist at the time had just got a job with Insecure. I think it was like their second season.
Okay.
So she knew that there were going to be more seasons, and a show like that, you're on set for 12 hours a day, 5 days a week for about, I mean, it can be anywhere from 3 to 8 months. So
Okay.
at the time that happened for Kim, who was Garcelle's makeup artist at the time, Garcelle had just signed on with Real Housewives. So she was going to need glam, pretty frequently, more often. And so their schedules weren't going to work out. And so she actually introduced me to Garcelle. And in meeting Garcelle, Garcelle has been working in the industry for, I mean, since I've been watching the WB Jamie Foxx show, even before that.
Yep.
So she has a lot of great experience. She's
Mhm.
produced as well as acted. So she knows in front of the camera, behind the camera. And she really took me under her wing. Even though she's not a makeup artist, she's a client. So she knows what she
Yeah.
needs. She knows what she
Mhm.
wants. We went to set and she's like, I need straw, girl. And I'm like, oh, I got no straws. And she's like, she was like, get you a little kit together, put this, that in there, and have that ready when we go to set days,
Mm,
So I credit a lot of what I learned also from Garcelle, because she just was able to teach me, really how to be professional on set, how to show up on set, how to be a
mhm.
set makeup artist. It's not just touch-ups, it's being a one-man band, even though
Yeah.
you have people helping you, you always want to make sure that if something went down, you could do it. So
Mhm.
yeah, Garcelle, she taught me the industry.
That's so special. Shout out to Garcelle. That's so sweet. Not everybody is doing, not everybody has a heart to do that.
No, they don't. And a lot of people wouldn't even have hired me. She was
Yeah.
already a celebrity in Hollywood. Now you're about to do Real Housewives. She could have had anybody. And she took the time to nurture me. And the makeup I was doing 4 years ago is not the makeup I'm doing today.
Yeah.
Luckily, she's a really beautiful lady, so it looked really good still.
Yes.
But even with that, she could have been like, you're not performing at the level that other people are performing at the time I need you, right?
Wow.
Which would be valid. But
Mhm.
she stuck it out with me, and I could also see that in her. So it made me want to learn more and grow more and show up the best that I could for her.
Mhm. That's so special because I think with each person's success, you can sit in it and be like, there was somebody at some point in my career that did something or that helped me and they didn't have to. Or,
Yeah,
maybe there was something they said that they didn't even know resonated with me that I carry with me for the rest of, the trajectory of my career.
yeah,
And I think that's why, like I was saying earlier, your energy and how you show up, how you speak to people, how you treat people is all really something that matters. You can be the most talented anybody in the world, but if you don't know how to treat people, or you're not nice, or you don't know
yeah,
how to work with people, you may not have a sustainable
yeah,
trajectory. It can work, right? It happens all the time, but I think those people that resonate with you and those people that stick with you and that help you are oftentimes people that had that same grace showed to them.
definitely, definitely.
So I want to congratulate you on your Emmys. What an incredible accomplishment. You started, you know, not even in makeup, in healthcare. Now you're here. Now your craft has allowed you to be in a space where you have these accomplishments and these accolades. Does it mean as much as you thought it would mean before you achieved these type of successes?
um, yes and no. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, winning an Emmy is not really a moment you can prepare for. It's not like the NBA or something where you can like train really hard, and if you train the hardest, like you can win. Like it's all opinion. It's definitely an honor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And because I sat in the audience at that show and I then saw myself on the other side, it means the world to me. I definitely think that as somebody being a little naive to Hollywood and how things go, I thought, when you hit these moments, when you see people on the stage, that's the best moment of their life. And they're so happy and they go home and they're like, life is amazing. And it is and it isn't, and
Yeah.
I see that only to say, now we live in a time where we can talk about mental health and we can talk about, things of that nature. It's not always, you can't put everything into that moment is what
Mm.
I'm learning right now, right? So not that the Emmy doesn't mean a lot to me and that it doesn't make me feel really proud of myself, but I see that I put a lot of time and focus and energy into my career and I made beautiful things happen. So in the other areas of my life, I'm going to have to put time and energy and sacrifice to have those beautiful things happen as well.
Yeah.
I was definitely in a place where I was like, okay, I'm not feeling the most amazing now, even though this is happening. And I didn't want to feel, I felt bad for feeling like that. I felt bad for feeling bad about it was like compounding. And again, I'm just trying to take it day by day and realize that, my career is my career because I put so much into it and I sacrificed and I, went without. So
Yes.
I believe that is why I'm where I'm at in my career. But there's still a whole life that you have to live. You still have family, you still
Right.
have, a love life, you still have your health. And those are all things that you have to keep up with as well for you to have what I believe is a really balanced and full life.
I asked you that question because it's such an amazing achievement. And I think with that from the outside looking in, it's so easy to judge that accomplishment and think, oh, your life is amazing. Let's go. Like you should be so happy. And I think to hear that you still have other aspects of life outside of career accomplishments that you still have to balance is so important, and I think vital again to just sustaining, because if home life or personal life or health is out of balance, then career is going to get thrown off as well. And then, once that momentum slows down, then you're thinking, oh, is something wrong with me? Do I need to work harder? Then there's
Yeah.
burnout, right? And I think I'm so happy that you were able to share that side, because a lot of people don't hear that, and a lot of people aren't vulnerable enough to share that.
Yeah. I mean, I've won 2 Emmys and I felt like this twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happened actually both times that I've won. My life kind of just went to a place where I either had a breakup or something, or a family thing, and I get kind of like upset, like why now? Why can't I just be happy in this moment? But I think it's just again to show you like you got to work on these things. We got to work on. I want an Emmy in all aspects of my life. I want an Emmy with my family, with my love life, with my health. Like I want to show up the way I do at work in all areas of my life.
Right. Wow, I love that. I want to Emmy in all areas of my life.
Yeah.
That's my next caption. I love that. I can't let you leave here without sharing with me a few of your favorite makeup products. I know I have a few of mine, but I'm hoping that you can share some that maybe I need to check out, our audience needs to check out. I'm excited about this.
Yes. Right now, I'm actually really loving a concealer face. I don't know if it's just like me being impatient or whatnot, but I actually haven't been using foundation. I've just been
Oh,
using the MAC Conceal and Correct palettes. So they
okay.
come with like, it's like a little square and they come with like 6 different colors of concealer But,
Okay.
you can kind of like mix and match those shades around your face, and it just makes it so easy. And so I've really been loving that. I'm the shade Deep. I love Rihanna's matchsticks, which are the ones
Okay.
that are magnetic. If you just
Okay.
like, yeah, if you like rub them on your hand and like warm them up and then pick it up with the brush, it just gives this like really pretty, like dewy cheek moment that just looks really effortless. And
Okay.
I love, and then I also love her Heat lip glosses.
Okay.
Like, I know everyone's getting lip injections right now. I'm not there yet, but I'll do a little lip plumping lip gloss. That's cool with
Okay.
me. So I've really been loving that as well. And Charlotte Tilbury's setting spray is
Okay.
magical.
I love
Yes, yes.
that. And you can get that, at everything that you just said.
Yeah, everything I said,
Sephora.
yes.
Yes. And what does everyone need in their makeup kit or makeup bag?
Okay, everybody needs a puff. So a puff is
Oh.
like, you've probably seen makeup artists use them, but they're like triangles and they're made out of
Uh-huh.
like cotton and they look like little pillows.
Yes.
When I figured that out, the whole game changed up for me. Like my makeup is
Okay.
at a 10 now. Like instead of like setting with like a beauty blender or a brush, like you need to set under the eye with that puff and let
Okay.
it sit, like just
Okay.
press it in and then go back in if you want to bake or whatever. You do
Okay.
that,
That's it?
girl.
Okay, I might need to try. I'm going to because I've been seeing it on TikTok and
Oh, you've
I'll
seen
use
the
yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I didn't get persuaded enough to get it, but now that you said to get it, I'm going to.
I literally just
What makes the difference?
it makes
Why
a
is it
huge
so good?
um I think because like with the brush, there's still that uneven space. And then
Yes.
with like a beauty blender, the beauty blender is still like absorbing some of the product because it's usually wet. So
Okay.
then you go and put your powder on. So it kind of absorbs some of it. With the puff, it's like, and what I also do is I swirl it in. So like I put the powder in my hand and then I swirl the puff in. So like the powder is like in the puff. And
Okay.
then I just press it in. So it's almost like the way you see your concealer when you're like blending it out before you press it in. The way you
Uh-huh.
see it, it looks so nice and like perfectly finished. That's
Right.
exactly how it'll look with the puff. Like it won't,
Okay.
yeah, it won't change, won't budge. And if you make sure there's no creases before,
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to send you a picture once I get it. Before and after. Before and
Yes.
after the puff.
Everyone, no one's gonna hire any makeup artist anymore because now I done gave out the
You
secret. It's
you
the
gave
puff.
out the
It's
trick.
the puff.
I love that. Thank you for sharing those products. Now I'm gonna like watch this back and be
Yes.
taking notes. Like, okay, the Charlotte Tilbury spray, the puff,
Right.
all of that. What projects are you currently working on, or anything upcoming that you're excited about?
Definitely, I am launching Jules Beauty.
Oh,
Hopefully
nice.
within my hard date is in the next 6 months, but I never want to put too much expectations on myself, and I always want to,
Yeah,
be, present in the moment.
yeah.
But I've already released the logo on my page, so now I'm like, we have to do
I
it.
gotta do
um,
it.
so I'm really excited about that, being able to um, venture off into this business lane is really exciting for me. I think yet again, we always have expectations of, okay, well, I'm going to be this amazing makeup artist who does Paris Fashion Week and all these things. And, sometimes things don't happen the way you expect them to. And the only thing I've learned in life, when things don't go the way you planned, come up with another plan for how things are going, right?
Yeah.
So pivot or reevaluate where you're at and what's happening, and maybe we need some new goals. So would I love to be doing more makeup and working with more clients? Of course, but not everything always happens that way. So I've learned like, okay, well, Julie, you do have a little bit more free time. Let's venture off into a business. Like you're really great at business, beauty, what women need, and you have the time. You're also Emmy award winning. Like, speak to people, let them know your expertise, like get out there, start talking. So I'm actually really excited. I'm going to be doing more speaking engagements, and you may see me on a TV screen near you soon as a beauty
Yes.
or a beauty expert, which I think would be really great for me. I love talking to people. I love, I can be in the camera all day, all night. So sometimes when it seems like it's not going your way, make it go your way. Like,
Yes.
I know it sounds really simple and really like nonchalant, but life can be that way sometimes if you're, doing the things that you need to do. I'm also going to be having my first in-person masterclass,
Ooh.
which I'm really excited about because, I mean, like, I remember when I was going to master classes, and now to be having my own, I'm like, that's crazy, but we got to do it. What I'm really excited about is being able to talk to the girls about, breaking into the TV and film industry or editorial or anything like that. Because a lot of girls come to me and they're like, how did you do it? Like, I don't have an agent. I don't have, a publicist or anything. This is everything you've seen me do up until this moment is just me putting myself out there. So if there's another woman who wants to have that kind of career, I want to be able to help her. So those are all some really exciting things that I have coming up, and I'm really excited for them all to happen.
How special. Wow, that is a lot. That's a lot, but such needed things. Like such so different, but also just like branding your empire. Like this is up from here, girl. I love this. I'm excited. Keep me in the loop. I can't wait to watch all of this roll out. I'm so excited for your beauty company and the masterclass and all of that. Where can people find, follow, book you, all of that?
Yes, everything is all in one place. I'm like an old person and a millennial in the same time. Like, I tried to get on Twitter. I don't get it. Like, I don't know where to read stuff. Like, do I read from the bottom up and the top down? So I'm not on Twitter. I tried TikTok. I can't get into TikTok. I left years ago. So the only place I am at right now is on Instagram at JJulesBeauty, and that's JJULES, and then the word beauty.
Awesome. Oh, I'm so happy that we had this conversation. And I feel like I could talk to you all day. I have like so many beauty questions. I'll have to like hit you up after this and like ask, or maybe no, tell me when the master class is. I'm gonna get the master class, meet you there, come with my notebook. I'm just so happy that you were able to share your journey with me and your story, and I know it's going to inspire people. And wow, I'm cheering you on from the sideline over here, and I'm so excited to see how your career continues to blossom. You're so beautiful inside and out, and I'm just so happy you took the time to speak with me today.
Oh, likewise, girl. I'm such a fan of yours as well. When I saw you on the carpet, I was like, why is she on that side? Like, she should be on this side. You look so good. I was like, dang. So much. So, I would love to hear more about what you have going on as well. Another time, and because I know we're all out here killing it and doing the best that we can. So thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm so happy we were able to do this, and come back when you're ready to talk about more stuff.
Yes.
Stuff when you have everything rolled out. Like, we need to have another conversation.
Yes. I'm always here.
Thank you so much. And everyone, make sure you follow along on Julie's journey and make sure you keep up with everything that she's doing. Support her, book her if you have an event, a television show, all that. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this episode of Let's Talk Life. Until next time.